It's the finals of Great British Menu. 24 of the country's top chefs have been battling it out, and now just 8 remain. There have been ups.
I'll kill anybody who says anything negative about this dish.
And downs.
In 8th place, Will.
But now it's a fight for the ultimate prize, the honour of cooking at a glorious summer banquet to be hosted by the Prince of Wales, who will be accompanied by the Duchess of Cornwall. But to secure a place at that feast, the chefs are going to have to work harder than ever. And today, it's the main course.
Day 3, big meat day.
This is the centrepiece dish for me, because meat is absolutely amazing in this country.
I agree, but you know, these chaps are really good at fish. I mean, yesterday was sensational. They have to be as good or better today.
This year, the final decision rests with the judges and the judges alone. There will be no public vote. However, in a twist, each day the panel will be joined by a different veteran of the competition, a chef with first-hand experience of cooking at such a prestigious occasion. So the pressure is on.
It is far, far tougher than I ever thought it would be.
You've got 8 very, very good cooks in one room, desperate to get one dish through to the final banquets.
The pressure, it's just 100% every single day. This is one that everybody wants to win. Everybody wants this one.
It's day 3 and the 8 finalists are preparing to do battle again. Some are buoyant after success in the starter and fish courses, and others are struggling to keep afloat. They know it will be the highlight of their career to cook for the Prince and the Duchess, and all are determined to win a place at the banquet.
I really want to get a dish to the Prince of Wales.
Going home with the main course will be absolutely out of this world.
The chefs were challenged to find as many ingredients as possible from close to a National Trust property in their region, as this year's competition is a celebration of the very finest locally produced food. The final banquet will honour the Prince and his guests, the farmers and food producers who've helped the chefs in their quest so far. Success is within their reach, but first they have to impress the judges. Prue Leith, Matthew Fort and Oliver Payton. They will accept nothing but the very best, and this year it's even tougher as there's a 4th judge, someone who cooked the main course at the banquet 2 years ago. It's Jason Atherton.
I hope you brought your appetite with you.
I have, and I'm very, very excited.
Hi, Jason.
Apart from you joining us and the fact that we've changed the rules about sourcing, there have been 1 or 2 other changes this year. We are actually going to mark each dish as we eat it, and then we're going to give the results to the chefs in reverse order up to the top 3. So that when we come to actually choose the menu, we will have 3 starters, 3 fish courses, 3 main courses and 3 puddings from which to choose. Because after all, this is the Great British Menu.
So, to ensure that the final menu truly celebrates local British food, the judges will only decide on the winning dishes which will be served at the banquet once they've tasted all the courses. As the chefs are summoned to the chamber, how will they perform with one of their own passing judgment?
Hi there, chefs. Welcome back again. I'm sure you're really pleased to be here. Today is the meat course, the pinnacle of the banquet. And we have here a man who knows all about that. Dare I say the main man, Jason Atherton.
Morning, guys. How are you? Nerve-wracking, right?
Yeah. Very.
It's been tough?
Yeah. Very.
Yeah, well, it gets tougher, that's for sure. Well, you know, some of the best young talent in the country stood in front of us, that's for sure. And, you know, with this dish, I expect some of the best dishes of the whole competition. So good luck.
And, of course, one of the cornerstones of the competition is sourcing. And so with the meat course here, there really is the opportunity to excel. And, you know, that's what we're going to be looking at for the provenance, the sourcing of the produce.
Yeah, and you know you're allowed to tweak any dish and change one radically. So is anybody doing that?
Just the vegetables, really.
Ah, Alan, what are you doing?
I'm not too sure quite at the moment, because I've done two really good dishes and you've hated them, so I'm going to do about 3 or 4 dishes today and hedge my bets.
Good luck. Anybody else changing their dish?
Yeah,
Lisa, what are you doing?
I'm going to put an English onion and sweetbread fritter onto mine and make it a little bit bigger.
A little bit
Is that
bigger.
a panic from yesterday?
No,
Comments.
I've been reading them.
Anybody else changing anything?
Just the vegetables, yeah, because you said it was a bit too wintry, so...
So it's some more summery.
Hopefully.
So we have very high expectations today. So I think you better be off to the kitchen and start fulfilling them. Thank you very much indeed. And good luck.
Good luck, guys.
The burden of expectation is weighing heavier on everyone's shoulders. And Tom and Niall in particular are concerned about the impact Jason Atherton will have on their chances.
I've stood in front of Jason for 4 courses before. It's not easy.
No.
He's a hard man to please.
Poker face, doesn't give anything away.
And someone who knows what he's talking about, not only as a chef's point of view, but someone who knows what he's talking about for a Great British Menu point of view.
Without doubt, Jason is like unbelievably talented, and as a judge, he will be an absolute nightmare.
The first chefs to cook on today's programme will be Kenny Atkinson from the North East, Central's Will Holland, and Tom Kerridge from the South East.
Morning, Cheese.
Morning.
All right, guys, first in.
Kenny's hoping for a second shot at the banquet after his starter made it all the way last year. Currently riding high after making the top 3 in both the starter and fish course, he's done a fantastic job sourcing almost all the ingredients locally for his roe deer, venison sausage and tatty pots. But can it reach the same dizzying heights of success?
Got 2 chances now with 2 dishes in the top 3 to get close to that banquet, but it's still not enough yet. I've still got to get that main course and dessert into the top 3 to be guaranteed that perfect opportunity to go to the banquet.
I think this dish was just far too wintry.
I think he's going to change it, though, isn't he?
He has tweaked it. I think we made one suggestion that it definitely needed some green vegetable in there.
Has he lost the collie? I hope he's lost the collie.
Well, we'll see about that when it arrives.
So will Kenny's changes be far-reaching enough to convince the judges his dish is perfect for a summer banquet?
Kenny, you said in the judging chamber that you were changing the vegetables. What are you doing exactly there?
So the idea is just using purple sprouting broccoli as the garnish, and then we'll finish that with a broccoli and wild garlic puree.
Why do you think that'll make it better?
I think it'll make it more summery.
But Will's not so sure.
In the regional final, when I was in with Daniel Clifford, he did a broccoli puree. I think Matthew Fort went to town on it. He said it resembled baby food.
And that's not the only problem Will sees with Kenny's dish.
For me, personally, I wouldn't serve venison in the summer. I'd have that as a 6 months of the winter, autumn. Lamb's a lot more fitting in the summer.
He's got sausage going on with it. He's got roasted little onions. You know, undoubtedly an incredibly talented chef, but he may have got the seasonality in this one not quite on the money.
But Kenny thinks his choice of meat will give him the edge over his rivals.
I think the reason why I believe my dish is better is because I'm using something that's not used a lot in this country, roe deer, and I think by using the different cuts and trying to pay homage to the estate, everything's sourced from the estate apart from the broccoli, for me, I just think it's a winning dish.
To accompany his venison loin, Kenny's making tatty pots with braised venison shoulder. But Lisa's suspicious of its similarity to the dish that won the main course last year, the hot pot cooked by her boss, Nigel Howarth.
Where did you get the hot pot idea from?
Didn't your boss win with that dish?
Taste of Nigel's last year, yeah.
Taste of Nigel.
Well, it worked for the big fella, you know.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Get the beef salad. It's worked for you, mate.
Kenny's really got his hands full, as he also needs to seal his venison loin before roasting it, pan-fry his venison sausages, crisp up his sage, poach his onions, make a broccoli and wild garlic puree, and make a complex venison sauce. Trying to juggle so many aspects at once is sending him into a spin.
You all right, Chef? Are you a little bit stressed?
Yeah, full on. Obviously, times have changed a bit today, you know, so but as you can see, I'm a bit up against it. I've got to really sort of push on, really, big time.
Kenny might be flustered, but he's got to concentrate as it's time to plate up. He starts by spreading his broccoli and wild garlic puree, then he lays the venison loin on top, followed by sausage, venison jus, and crispy sage leaves. The tatty pot is served in a pan on the side.
Happy? Happy? Push. It's harder than I thought, actually. I tell you what, I feel relieved I've got that out now.
So what will the judges make of the first dish of the day? Will Kenny's subtle changes manage to blow them away, or simply blow his chances?
So it looks very pretty.
I don't think it looks very summery, though.
I think the deer's lovely.
The deer has much more flavour.
The little hot pot's terrific.
I don't feel it's appropriate for the banquet.
Why?
Because I don't think it's very summery.
But it is roe deer at the end of the day, and how summery are you going to get roe deer to become?
I think you could go more summery than broccoli. I mean, it's not the most summery of vegetables, and somehow because the hot pot is so wintry, I think you need a bit more of a blaze of colour or something leafy in there.
I personally think that the shoulder is just, I mean, it's far too rich. We're going to have to be wheeling people out in stretchers after this as a main course.
As the chef on the panel, I think it's a solid bit of cooking. I think, the venison's cooked nicely. I think the hot pot's fantastic. Do we serve a hot pot at a banquet in the middle of summer? Probably not, to be honest with you. That's probably the one.
So we did the Lancashire hot pot last year.
I know, yeah, true. So, there is fights and causes, but as a hot pot, it tastes fantastic. I really like the dish.
It would be not out of place at the final menu. A bit more finesse, a bit more originality, maybe.
So, mixed comments from the judges. But what do Kenny's fellow chefs make of it?
A lot of perception is that people think venison's a winter meat. Do you think it is?
I don't think it's a wintry meat. I just think he's running a little bit of a risk, because that, to me, is wintry.
Yeah.
Roe deer, oh dear, I think this was a stocking filler for Kenny, really. I think the deer just looked too autumnal and definitely not one of his better dishes. 6.
I didn't have too much of a problem with Kenny's dish. I quite liked it. It was like a safe dish, and because he never went out on a limb, I'm not going to go too high, so for me, he gets a 7.
It wasn't a brilliantly original dish. It wasn't fireworks or anything, but I really liked it, and I'm giving it a 7.
I can't help feeling that, in fact, he was just cooking on autopilot. So for that, I'm afraid it's going to be a 6 from me.
So, not quite the standard of his first 2 courses. But can Tom do any better? Tom's won a Michelin star for serving up top-notch British classics at his gastropub in Marlow, and he's already made the judges' top 3 this week for his starter. Having really embraced the challenge to source his main course locally, he's hoping his slow-cooked Aylesbury duck with duck fat chips and gravy is a winner.
I thought the quality of the duck was absolutely fantastic.
The chips were completely irresistible.
And the garnish for me dragged it into summer. It stopped it being heavy.
But this isn't about memory, it's actually about today. Can he deliver it again today? That's
Just
really
like
the question.
So Jason and the judges loved his dish in the regional heats. But with comments like that, Tom's got a lot to live up to.
Today is a big, tough day. Main courses are a big thing. Some people may fall by the wayside. Some people may come out and surprise us. I've just got to put in a real solid performance today.
Tom's dish is an attempt to celebrate the pure-breed Aylesbury duck. So he's using the crown, the breast and the legs.
I know it's a little bit of a risk. I haven't had a duck main course, I don't think, go through before.
And it's from the estate as well.
It's an Aylesbury duck, right from the centre of Aylesbury. Last breeder of true Aylesbury ducks.
Tom's even using duck fat to cook his chips. But Will's not convinced by his choice.
Cooking them in duck fat, they're definitely not going to be good for you, are they?
Well, it depends what you count as good, Will.
There's a sense of occasion about a banquet. I don't know if chips are that fitting for it, whether they're good or not.
Tom's desperate to make today's top 3, but he's under no illusions about how hard the judges are to impress, not least Jason Atherton, whose exacting standards he had to try to surpass in the regional heats.
He's a hard man to impress. Every day he was saying, I want a 9 or a 10, and then gave 6s and 7s. It's like, God, you're never going to get a 10 out of Jason Atherton Cowell.
Tom makes a salad by tossing caramelised duck legs onto a bed of lettuce, mint, peas and banana shallots. Then he crisps the duck breast skin, coats it in caramelised honey and carefully slices it. The pea salad goes into individual pots and is garnished with pea shoots, while the duck breast is served on a board with little pans of chips.
Don't drop it.
Thank you.
But doesn't it look great?
Looks great.
Has it changed at all? Mm-hmm.